It's the Bell Howard Show. The Liberty Bell rings true and free for every man, woman, child of America. And now, here's your host, Bell Howard. Bell Howard. Bell Howard. Bell Howard. The Liberty Bell rings loud and true for every man, woman, and child, regardless of your race, color, or creed. And boy, do we have to focus on liberty now more than ever, folks. Hello, it's Bell Howard. If you want real Libertarian Radio, you've come to the right place. And let me tell you, folks, there are cracks in that Liberty Bell because freedom comes with a price. And those cracks are growing into chasms that might never mend themselves. Chasms don't usually mend themselves. They just don't. Folks, it's very important now not to get sucked into the hype. That's all I'm saying. I know people are saying racial tensions have never been higher. Some people are saying we're going to have a race war. I mean, first of all, calm down, Charlie Manson. My neighbor's black. What am I going to do, fight my neighbor? We're not the best of friends. Lord knows we've had our squabbles over property lines and drainage, but we're not going to take arms against each other. Also, he happens to be in a wheelchair, so he's not going to be any good for the black side of the war. I, on the other hand, was in a marching band once, so I have a little military experience, but again, I wouldn't take part in such a thing. It's silly, and we're better than that. Again, we are better as individuals, free and individual, individually individual. And individually free. Then with the frothing mouthed mobs you see out there, I don't think there's going to be a race war. Look, I don't side with the police. I don't side with the protesters. I don't side with the jackboots of the police state, and I don't side with the scruffy, unwashed mobs destroying coffee shops. I side with freedom. Freedom from police oppression and freedom from mob rule. Both are equally dangerous directions, and we are at a fork in the road, people. So I say, because forks usually have 3 prongs, take the middle way. Take the middle prong. Organize your own town. I like what they're doing here. The CHAZ. Have you heard of these? Capitol Hill Autonomous Zones. Don't fight fire with fire. Organize your own CHAZ without the police. Just make sure you have plumbing. Remember Woodstock 96? Porta potties from hell. Use solid infrastructure. That's all I'm saying. I got to say it's inspiring. I think my sister once dated a man named CHAZ. I advocated for this in my book, by the way. People are starting to listen to Old Bell and take this collective action to separate from the current liberal-run society and create a society that polices itself and respects private property. They're calling to defund the police, and I agree. We've armed the police with our tax dollars to the point where they look like Starship Troopers. I mean, do the police really need to look that cool? I mean, it is cool. Does George Lucas need to direct the SWAT team? I mean, come on. Here's what the libertarian position is. Here's what we need to think about. The libertarian position should be creating jobs and allowing a large, unregulated market for hired alternative police squads, or HAPs. HAPS. They could also be voluntary, but I prefer not to do the policing of others and want to leave that to the professionals. Some guys are naturally inclined to police others and can't make it on the police force, so this would be a great job opportunity for them. That would be true freedom, a privately funded military-like a militia, if you will. I know that has a negative connotation, but it's a... Hello? What I'm saying is it's a privately funded police force hired by you and your neighbors. Depending on your budget, you can even give them cool helmets and dress them like characters from your favorite movies. Go crazy. I mean, no regulations here. I drew a picture last night before I went to bed of my private militia guy. It's a guy with a white and black and gray cami fatigues and a helmet with an infrared scope. This really cool thing I found online and one of those Soldier of Fortune websites. If I could design my own private police, which is what we should be able to do in a truly free society, then that's what I would do. And I even have a name for my squad. They're called the Hellcats. Because why not? Give them a cool name. The Hellcats or the Thunder Troopers. I'm still trying to decide between those two. Those are my top two at the moment. Are you kidding me? That would be awesome. Why can't we do what we want? Get out of the way, government. Let us do what we want. And Wes is trying to tell me something. What's that, Wes? Oh, it looks like we have a caller. There's a gentleman on the line calling us from inside the CHAZ. That's the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone I was just talking about, where the protesters are. Well, this is exciting. This is happening now, people. An exclusive interview with someone from inside the CHAZ. Someone fighting on the front lines of freedom. Okay, Wes, put him through. Hello? Who's this?
Hello, Mr. Howard. This is Dino from Rainbow Body Shop.
Yeah? Rainbow? Hey, I know you guys. Didn't you guys just fix the scratch on my BMW a couple months ago?
Yeah, that was us. Somebody brought your car here. A good Samaritan had your car towed to our shop. And,
Well, I didn't send you my car. I don't know what you're...
No. A good Samaritan did.
A good Samaritan had my car. Why did he have my car towed to your shop? Is there some kind of... what's wrong with my car?
There's more than a scratch this time. It's pretty beat up.
Wait, what? What happened?
Yeah, your bumpers are hanging off. All the glass is broken. Engine's been replaced with a baby stroller. And there's a smell of what can only be described as human excrement coming from your glove compartment.
Wait, what happened to my car?
Sir, apparently you were parked in a CHAZ. That's a Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone.
I know what it stands for. I didn't know I was parked in a CHAZ.
Well, you know, this sort of spontaneous collective action that arises in times of civil unrest, you know, you might achieve a fully functioning autonomous collective a la Mikhail Bakunin, but along the way you might lose a few windshields, you know what I'm saying?
Did someone call the police? I'm going to find out who did this and press charges. I mean this. This is when there is no respect for property, there is no freedom. People have to understand there are men and women out there in blue who work for the city and protect and serve, right? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Mark my words, people of CHAZ, you will devolve into a Soviet-style Mad Max. Dino, listen, what can you do for my car?
Well, the glass and the bumpers and the engine, that's someone else's problem. All we can do is give you a new paint job.
The engine's gone. I mean, what good will that do?
You're gonna want to cover up what they painted on here.
And what was that, Dino? What did they paint on my car?
Someone spray painted a white swastika on the hood of the driver's side door. The driver's side door and the hood, I mean. I think getting rid of that is top priority.
Lord have mercy on my soul when I get my hands on those. You know, thanks for the call, Dino. I will see you after the show.
Show? Am I on the air right now?
Yes, you are, but...
Oh, I just want to say happy birthday, Mom. She just turned 80, and we love her, and...
All right, Dino, listen, you know, these are liberal fascists, people, that have infected the minds of generations to come. Anyone who opposes them or drives a German car is a Nazi, apparently. They have to be. Jeez, I didn't know I was parked in a CHAZ. You know what? Don't defund the police. We clearly still need them. If we defund them, what is Mrs. Police going to do? Or Little Police Jr.? Daddy's been defunded, Billy. Christmas is canceled. Of all the places, and it just sort of happened. This autonomous zone sort of sprung up around my car. But anyway, we've got a good guest today. Kenny DewHickey is here. He's got a book called it's actually about the topic we were just discussing. So it's called Defund Everything Now, and it's a special edition, and we'll get into that after the break. Folks, sit tight. We'll be right back.
If conversations in your house tend to revolve around broken ribs, clown rash, or punctured butts, then you probably live with a rodeo clown. I know I did. My father was a rodeo clown. Hi, I'm Zippy Lee Bozo III, attorney at law, and I've been representing rodeo clowns for the past 20 years. If you're injured on the job, do you know how you're entitled to a lot more than an ice pop?
When I injured my butt, my boss gave me one of those red, white, and blue ice pops and told me to suck it up. Well, thanks to Zippy Lee Bozo III, I got compensated for my injury and I won a year's supply of the aforementioned ice pops.
I've been a rodeo clown since I was a young feller, and when I was told to retire after a steer fell on my solar plexus, my boss was about to put me out to pasture. Lucky for me, Zippy was in my corner. He got me a decent retirement package and a year's supply of steaks out of the steer that almost done me in.
That's right, I fight for you. I take my job seriously. That's why I wear an orange afro wig and a spinning bow tie to work every day. Come in for a free consultation and I'll even let you spray my bottle of seltzer water. Don't wait! Contact the law offices of Zippy Lee Bozo III today.
Bell Howard Show. You know, before the break, we were talking about defunding the police. Speaking of defunding, my next guest is an author, and his book couldn't be more timely. He's a libertarian. We've spoken many times at conferences. We've even had a few drinks. He's the author of Defund Everything Now, which some of you may have. However, just yesterday, the publishers rushed to print a special edition, and here to talk about that is author and, dare I say, friend, Kenny DewHickey. Kenny, thanks for stopping by.
The honor is mine, and you may call me friend. And Bell, might I add, in these times of internal strife in the nation, you are the clarion bell of reason, sir.
Well, I doff my cap to you, sir. Much appreciated.
Much obliged.
So, you put out a special edition of your book. You rushed it to press. What is so special about the current edition, Kenny?
The title has changed, and I added a chapter all while riding in an airplane on my way to France.
France?
Yes, France. I was in an airplane, and I made the final changes. Excuse me. The new title is Defund Everything Now, parentheses, except the police.
Well, I have to say I'm all for defunding. Just gut everything. Drain the bog, as the Irish say. Why not the police?
It has never been clearer until now. We need the police to keep order. Most of the people out there are not like you and I, Bell. They are conditioned to clutch the hem of the nanny state's garment and look into her eyes for succor. And when they don't get it, instead of pulling themselves up by the bootstraps, I know it's really difficult, and most people don't have bootstraps these days, but instead of trying, they throw a tantrum.
In that case, shouldn't we proceed with caution? I mean, if we defund everything, won't those people clutching to the nanny state throw bigger and more violent tantrums?
Yes, and that's why we need the police. It's the opposite of what the protesters want. They are asking to defund the police and increase funding for everything else, making our proverbial nanny the fattest cow you've ever seen. And there will be no police to discipline us when we have had too much sugar and don't want to go to bed. Whereas my plan, that I lay out in my book, Defund Everything. We can defund the library. We should defund the libraries, defund the sanitation department, the post office, public schools, National Public Radio especially. Get rid of all their little treats, but keep the police. Because when they cry out for government programs and throw a tantrum, Daddy will be there with a pair of handcuffs and a gun.
I tell you, Kenny, I was not on your side until this morning. I parked my car today downtown, and I came here, got ready for the show, and then apparently a CHAZ was declared around my car. And then the wanton destruction of foreign cars began. My BMW got worked over in an hour like it had been in Baghdad for 3 months.
I'll give you another example of wanton destruction. Recently, my son was working on his laptop at a coffee shop behind the shop window facing the street. And he was just typing away at his MySpace or Napster, and in comes a brick. I mean, smashes through the window and his Apple computer.
Oh my goodness, a riot just started just like that? I mean, the speed at which these things happen is incredible.
No, it wasn't a riot. It had nothing to do with anything. Just a guy threw a brick because he didn't like my son's face.
Well, I'm sure your son has a nice face. Look, speaking of bricks, I can top that story, Kenny. When I was in Seattle covering the 1999 WTO protests for Better Homes and Garden, I was taking pictures and someone shouted, "Hey, he's a cop." And another shouted, yeah, that's an undercover cop. And now they had me confused with my character on, actually, I don't know if a lot of you know this, but I played for one season on the show Barracuda. I played an undercover cop in the 80s. That was a Danish police show that they remade, and it only ran for 18 episodes. But anyway, so there I was, and none of these kids had seen the show, and I was scared. And soon there was a crowd around, and anti-globalist signage was thrust in my face. Anyway, I lost my balance, and I fell backward, and these arms supported me. They were really small, like a child's arms, and I was like, boy, this kid's strong. But when I turned around and got a good look at the person, I saw these two radiant eyes staring back at me. It was a woman, Kenny. She was wearing all black and a scarf around her face, but I could tell she was the most beautiful woman I would have ever seen. And then she led me from the mob, and we spent the day together in the Gasworks Park and watched the sunset. It was amazing. And that was how I met my first wife, Lucita.
I'm sorry, Bill. Was there a brick at some point in this story, or?
Oh, yeah. Years later, after we got married, I kissed another woman at a Halloween party, and Lucita threw a brick through the windshield of my Toyota Camry.
So
you talk about defunding, but let's get into the weeds a little here and talk about how this thing's going to work. I mean, what are the steps we need to take, Kenny?
Yes, it happens when enormous public pressure reaches the halls and the stalls of Congress.
The stalls? Even on the toilet, they feel this pressure?
Especially the toilet. They must decide to divert funds to these various public works and undo the massive behemoth of government spending and reduce it to a sleeping lapdog.
What can I do? I'm Joe Citizen, and I want these changes now. How can I contribute?
You can start a letter campaign. You can also use the social medias, the face apps, the What's My Book, the Link On, and, I'm not very savvy when it comes to that, but I can give you my nephew's email, and he can explain everything.
Okay, Kenny DewHickey, the book is now called Defund Everything Except the Police. Kenny, thanks for your time, and stay safe.
Bell, always a pleasure.
Indeed. Folks, we have just a little time left, and I thought, why not open up the phones and hear the voice of the people? I want to hear from you, so I'm going in blind. I don't screen these calls. I'm not a totalitarian voice of the radio man godhead. If that made any sense at all. So let's just go in blind. Let's talk to some callers. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Hi, Bill. This is Susie from Tacoma.
Hi, Susie from Tacoma. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to know, do you have a cat? And I'll take my answer off the air.
Okay, well, yes, I do have a fat, tabby cat named Chelsea. Okay, next caller. Hello?
Hi, Bell. It's Vic from North Dakota. Would you agree that there are broadly two different types of libertarianism which are based on ethical doctrines, namely consequentialist libertarianism and natural rights libertarianism, or deontological libertarianism? Which do you fall under and why? Or are you some kind of hybrid that combines deontological and consequentialist reasoning? Thanks, and I'll take my answer off the air.
And I'll answer that question off the air. Okay, next caller. Who's this? Hello? Caller, you're on the Bell Howard Show. What's going on?
Hey, Bell, I know for a fact you're a Nazi.
Yeah, buddy? Well, I know for a fact that your grandma sucks golf balls. Explain yourself. Who is this? Don't be a coward. Tell me your name. Come on.
It doesn't matter. The truth will come out. You're from a long line of eugenicists. Hey, here's a question for you. Who's Raynard Cliffborn? And I'll take my answer off the air.
No, you won't. You'll take your answer on the air, you drop of snot. Get back on the air, young man. Wes, you know what? We got to screen these calls. We got to start screening these. Okay, you know what? Raynard Cliffborn. All right. Raynard Cliffborn was my grandfather, and he wasn't a eugenicist. He was a dentist. Okay? Mystery solved. All right, folks, sorry to end the show on such a downer, but we have to stay positive. These are wacky times. But join us next week. We're going to have a heck of a show. Next week, the Croatian sensation Mikhail Petrovidic will be calling in to talk about his career in music and acting, and you might find out that he shares a history with yours truly. You won't want to miss that. All right, folks, my name is Bell Howard, telling you to stay safe, stay sane, and stay free. Bye now.